Okay, morning everyone, we're out early. It's not bright, it's a bit gloomy. We're trying to beat the weather. We've got a bit of bad weather coming in today. So we've come out early to try and fly before the wind and the rain starts like it did yesterday. So tune in. Again, I've got a plane that I've done a little bit of a mod to. So tune in, see how it flies, roll the intro. Okay then, yeah, as I said, I'm flying a plane that I've done a little bit of a mod to, and that plane is the Xly-Models Glastar 1.233 meter wingspan trainer, obviously fitted with my easy lights. And what I've done is I've taken those big air-filled balloon tyres off and just put smaller, more standard looking wheels and tyres on. And what I'll do is I'll flash up an image now just to show you how close that looks to the real thing. But what I'm going to do quickly now is just excuse me, run through the specifications. Find it difficult to remember these things when I'm flying. So as I said, it's a 1233 millimeter wingspan, which is 48.5 inches. The overall length is 945 millimeters, which is 37.2 inches. The propeller is a two-bladed 10x6, and the motor is a 3136 1000 kV brushless outrunner, and that's mated to a 20 amp ESC. It's designed to run on, it says in the manual, 3S 1300 to 3S 2.2s, so I'm running it on 2200s. You know, it's a trainer, you know, it's not fantastically powerful. 4-channel, obviously just your ailerons, elevator, rudder, and then your throttle, and it comes with 4 9-gram servos. You know, pretty standard stuff really. But you know, last time I flew it, it's nice to fly. It'll be interesting to see how it takes off and lands now with the smaller wheels, because I personally felt that those big balloon tyres were too big, and the other problem was one of mine had a puncture and I couldn't be bothered to spend the money. I tried to fix it, it wouldn't work, and I just couldn't be bothered to spend the money to buy a new set, so I decided to fit smaller, more scale looking wheels and tyres. So there you go, that's the specifications. Obviously it comes like a blank canvas, just white foam with just a little bit of the Glastar motif, but myself and Cheryl put a little bit of our own design on there with the stars, obviously it being a Glastar, and we thought it looked really nice. So there you are, that's the specs out the way. Time for flying. Okay, we're back in the hangar after a very wet morning, but when I was going through the specifications in my sort of like state of rushing to beat the weather, I forgot to mention the centre of gravity, and I did say last week that I felt this was important, that I wanted to try and remember to speak about the centre of gravity for each plane I fly. Well, the centre of gravity on the Xly-Models Glastar is, and you can see my dots there, 50 millimeters from the leading edge of the wing. It doesn't give you a range, it just says that, you know, 50 millimeters is the center of gravity. With the standard wheels, I found I needed to add an extra 25 grams of weight just in the nose there. And then obviously after replacing those standard wheels with the new smaller wheels, this morning I had to add another 10 grams, and that was with quite chunky 60C 3S 2200 and a 2300 battery. So definitely probably needs a little bit of weight, and a lot of weight if you're going to run the recommended 3S 1300 milliamp hour battery. So there you go, CG 50mm from the leading edge of the wing. Okay, back to the video. Okay, so let's get flying. It's still a little bit gloomy because it's so cloudy. The sun's not really showing itself yet, but I've got the lovely lights on, so let's get the timer going. Right then, here we go. I'm starting off on mid rates, and I can tell it's too much, so
Yep.
again, you know, when you're flying something you haven't flown for a few weeks, it can catch you out, and it's a bit breezy up there as well. Now the batteries that I've got in here today are yacht power, and they're 60C discharge. So I found when I was maidening it and subsequent flights with 25C 2200 batteries, it felt quite underpowered. So
Well, that don't look underpowered.
no, it's going quite well now, but you've got to be careful because obviously it's only got that little 20 amp speed controller, and unfortunately from watching other people's flights with this plane, it's a tip staller. So something else that you've got to keep in mind as well. Keep that speed up when you're turning, and don't grab massive handfuls of rudder and ailerons and elevator, because she will tip a wing, definitely. I've seen a couple of people now have issues. Of course, just running on a bog standard Spectrum 4-channel receiver. No gyro today, just watching the plane get smashed around by the wind.
Timer on?
Yeah, timer's on. Yeah, timer's going. Thanks for checking. Well, it can be quite hard when you're flying like this and just relying on those lights to navigate the plane, but the thing is, my video camera, because it's got quite a big CMOS sensor, often makes it look a lot lighter than what it actually is. So if you can see that those LEDs are showing up a lot, that's because it's still quite poor light conditions. I'll have a go at this low and slow, but as I said, it is a bit buffety up there. But I can tell instantly with these 50C batteries that the plane's got a lot more punch. Timer set for 5 minutes and 20 seconds. As I said, you know, she will definitely drop a wing, this one, because she nearly did then. All you need is the right wing conditions and slightly wrong input, and off she goes. But I think she looks better with those smaller wheels and tyres. I think they've come off my E-Flight Mustang, if I remember rightly, that got crashed. Now what I'm going to do now, I'm going to bring it in a bit prematurely because They're just struggling really with the light conditions. Really am. So. And the wind decided to take her the other direction there.
30 seconds.
No, no chance. No chance. Never bought that. That was horrendous.
20 seconds.
Let's try again then.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Time expired.
Oh, it's going to be tricky. Oh, just managed to save that then. Very, very tricky. Bring it in against that buffeting wind then.
Time start.
Okay then, second flight. I wouldn't say I really enjoyed that first flight, but there you go. Now the battery I'm running now is 2,300, I think a 70-seat discharge, so got quite a selection of batteries today. This is, I can't remember the make actually, I'll have to show it in the photos, but quite tricky coming in for land then it was. And the other thing as well is when you're flying and you're flying a plane that you know got like a tip stall tendency, it can be a bit of a heart in your mouth sort of like flight. Especially if you get like it wrong when you're turning with the wind and so on. But she definitely feels a lot more punchy with these batteries today. I felt she was just struggling a little bit last time. And she's taking off and landing with these smaller wheels, no problem. Of course, I'm not coming down too low because it's quite buffety, so then come down too low and slow.
Time remaining 4 minutes.
Just trying to keep my turning nice and gentle, and not really, although I do like using rudder when I turn with aileron. I'm just sort of like barely touching that rudder at the moment, so the wind's definitely getting the plane down that end of the field. You can see it being buffeted terrible. Now, you know, as I finished that first flight, I actually said to Cheryl, do you know what, if this is aimed at someone's first plane, then I'm sorry, but I disagree with that, because for me this doesn't feel like you know, a novice's sort of like trainer plane. It's a little bit more of a handful than what I was expecting really for a trainer. I can't explain why. It just, with a lot of the planes that I find are aimed at like somebody's first plane, obviously a lot of them are fitted with gyros and safe, so they self-right, but this one it just doesn't seem to be set up so as it sort of like levels itself naturally with the dihedral.
Oh dear, here comes the
here's
rain.
now, so okay. And obviously we don't want to be getting the video camera soaking wet, so we're going to have to think about bringing it in now. You can see there the effects of the buffeting wind. I'm really struggling to get that down, so okay, I think we're going to have a little bit of a storm, I think. Right, okay, I got it down. Whoa. Sorry it's so far away, guys, but that was a little bit of an emergency then. Emergency landing. Because that wind just picked up and any light that was there is just completely gone now, so we just taxi it in. It's just taxiing nice, so that's good. Wow, bit of drama there because as you could see down that end it's quite turbulent and it just took the plane completely off course. If it had AS3X it probably would have stayed on a truer course, but I was fighting out with my thumbs all the way then, and obviously then it just didn't want to come down to land because it's landed into the wind. It just kept wanting to go up in the air, so there you are, bit of a short flight and some of my thoughts about the Xly-Glastar. What can I say really? I definitely don't think that it's somebody's first plane, you know, there's no way. You need a little bit of experience under your belt, I think. It might be a good second or third plane, you know, if you're looking for sort of like a high wing trainer type plane, but definitely not one for a complete novice, you know, definitely not. So from me and Cheryl in the rain, thanks for watching, bye.
Bye.